Happy Monday, traders. Philip here from BlackBull Markets. Hope you're all doing well and had a good weekend and ready for this week's of trading. This video I want to talk to you guys about a couple of charts we'll be covering, looking for potential setups for the week, and also having a quick cover over the news to see what pairs could be either having a lot of movement or maybe some low movement as we approach these news events. So make sure to stick all the way through to the end of the video to see what analysis we have and potential setups for this week are coming. Also make sure to smash that like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about Forex and improve your current trading skills. So without further ado, let's jump onto the charts and see what news we have and also kind of setups we do have for this week. So I want to first jump over to the news here quickly. So just have a quick look. I've pretty much just filtered some fairly high impact news and high impact news as well, so you guys can see there's quite a fair bit of news coming up. This is Wednesday here for us in New Zealand, so just keep that in mind of the time zone. So right now it's 2:18 p.m. here for us, so this is going to be our Wednesday. We can see we've got Wednesday morning, so Tuesday afternoon or evening for everyone else. We can see we've got a lot of news coming up for the US. We've got retail sales. We've also got obviously Fed Chair Powell speaking, FOMC members master speaks. We've got some CPI data coming up for the pound as well on that same day. And then we've got unemployment changes for the Aussie. So keep that in mind, guys. Usually speaking, also towards the end of the day, we've got preliminary elections as well for Australia. Guys, so keep this in mind. Usually as the markets approach these high news events, the markets tend to be a bit more quiet, or there tend to be a bit more uncertainty until these events do release themselves. So keep this in mind for the USD, midweek news events. So we could see maybe Monday and Tuesday be a bit more quiet for the US market, and then as we approach these news events, volume will kick in, and hopefully at the end of the week we'll have some more regular markets. Okay. Pop over to the charts now. We unfortunately just missed this move. This is AUDJPY. I wanted to have a look at this, and I wanted to kind of show you guys this potential setup we were looking at here. So AUDUSD, we're slowly approaching this nice little resistance we had right over here. I've got it here, the 90 mark zone. We can see a beautiful little clean head on it. Now I want to drop you guys down to the 30 minutes and also the 15 minutes, so you guys can see when I talk about potential setups. Now I've changed my trading just a slight little bit for potential setups because the markets have changed just slightly. However, as as markets do, as more influence comes into the markets and different situations in the world, we need to slowly adapt our trading. Now I haven't really changed that much. I've just added in another time frame. So what we can see here, you guys do know I speak about engulfing candlestick patterns. If you watch any of our previous videos, I always want to wait for a confirmation. If the market is going to be approaching a resistance, for example, I'm not just going to be trading it just because it's reached that resistance. I want to see either a candle confirmation or any sort of confirmation that lets me know, okay, the market's actually looking to reject this area and then to push further to the downside. So I'm not just going to take it just because it's reached that area. Okay, so we can see we had a nice little rejection here. If you guys can see, I'll blow it up a little bit more for you so you can see a little bit better. AUDJPY, this is now the 30-minute time frame. But you guys can see there's that resistance, that 4-hourly / daily resistance we've reached. We can see we did start to have some slowing down in the market. There were some candlestick rejections, but then we had this beautiful engulfing candle, engulfing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 previous candles. So very, very nice engulfing candle close, nice big wick rejection, and there, right there was a nice little entry, stop loss above that high, just above the 90.115 mark zone, and beautiful drops to the downside. Now, target-wise, guys, unfortunately this trade, if you guys haven't yet been in it, it's now already been missed. So target-wise, we obviously have a bit of resistance coming up here. There's a top of that zone for us. So I've got it here, 88.9, nice psychological level. We've just peaked past it, and we also have this resistance zone, support zone, 88.512 I've got here on our chart. So a little bit lower than that, I would say probably 88.5, nice psychological level. So that's really a bit of a consolidation zone, so the market might struggle here a bit. For me, I've already moved in my stop losses to break even, just to prevent any losses if the market does reject here and push further higher. If we get a signal to the other side, obviously positions will be closed. But for overall targets, hopefully what we're looking for is this low. Not going to use this absolute low because we have some rejection consolidation zones coming up. I've got here 87.75, guys. That's the sort of all over target if this market can continue to drop for the lower. Looking at the 4-hourly time frame, we are still in a downtrend. Let's have a look here, see this trend line. Okay, so we have not yet had a third touch on this trend line where you guys can see a clear downtrend. We've got lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so lower highs over here, lower lows as the market continues to drop further to the downside. And so this market is overall 4-hourly Daily, we can see it does look like a bit of a correction, so we need to keep that aware. But 4 hourly and hourly, if we zoom out a bit, we can see strong moves to the downside is kind of what this market is looking to do. Jump over, we'll have a quick look at Aussie USD. Aussie USD is doing this sort of similar thing to AUDJPY. This is the daily term time frame. We can see we've kind of tried to come back past this nice resistance zone we had over here. 969, or I would say probably 0.7 mark zone is where the market starts to reject. We can see big candles, rejections over here. Daily term time frame, obviously. Drop it down to the 4 hourly, we can see big rejections as well. We had this bit of a, on the hourly time frame, we can see it actually. Let's pop over to the 4 hourly. We can see we had this nice little break and retest, jumping back into this nice liquidity zone. Lots of consolidation, so the market has now rejected it. We could potentially be looking for further moves to the downside, which is a plus for us on that AUDJPY trade, because if the Aussie does continue to weaken, we could see some good moves to that pair as well. Okay, let's jump over to EURUSD. Want to have a quick look at this. EURUSD, we had this consolidation. We were speaking about it on our previous video. You're looking for breaks, obviously above and below. Lots of messiness over here, so we weren't really looking to trade within this zone. Okay, this obviously for us was a no trade zone, and I was mentioning we were looking for either breaks above or breaks below, guys. Now remember, I'm not going to always be looking for one option. Whenever you watch our videos, people always sometimes ask, you know, why do you always say this or this? You know, you're saying the market's going to go up or the market's going to go down. Well, the truth is, guys, as a trader, we don't always 100% know. Now I always say this, guys, in my videos and whenever I teach people. Okay, the market usually moves between zones, right? Now the market reach here, if anyone can tell me 100% they know for a fact that the market's going to go up, right? They're lying, obviously. Okay, no one knows 100% whether the buyers are going to come back into this market and trade that position back to the upside, and no one knows whether it's going to hold or break, right? This is the secret of trading. We don't know what's really going to happen. All we're trying to do is trying to put the odds in our favor. That's why, guys, when we trade, okay, when we trade in these markets, okay, we have stop losses and take profits. Now, this is a very basic example, obviously. So if I take a trade here, obviously my most logical place will be to have a stop loss below these lows, because if the market breaks these lows, I was wrong, and the market's most likely going to continue to the downside, okay? And obviously take profits I'll have close to those highs, because that's where I'm looking for this market to go to, because chances are it's been doing it in the past, it could potentially be doing it in the future. If it does break, that's fine. I might always get a re-entry on the zone to go back up again. But this is how we play it safe, guys. This is how we put money in our pockets and prevent us from losing too much when we are wrong, okay? Now, if the market does go to the downside and I'm wrong, there's another potential entry for the downside, okay? So we need to keep this in mind, guys. We're not here to predict the future. We're not here to have a crystal ball to tell everyone where the market's going to go. We're not weathermen. We are traders. We're here to take what the market gives us. Okay, so let's have a look at this example. Now, this is a pretty good example of what I was speaking about before, right? What I was just showing that little example. Now, this is a very, very messy consolidation zone. So personally, I wouldn't like to trade in it because there's lots of, you know, sporadic movement in the market. We can see here, it's not really, there's no real clean movement, and it's a little bit of a, it could cause a lot of stress. And for me, I'm not really keen on that. Okay, I want to try and keep my stress as low as possible. So we've seen here, obviously, this is that two consolidation zones we've had that I was speaking about before. Market's gone up and down in it repetitively. Now the market's reached here, okay? Whether buyer's going to come back in, we don't know. Okay, this is, when we trade, this is, we don't see this, okay? We only see that side. Okay, so the market, the buyers decided not to come back in again, even though they've done it over time and time again. Okay, they decided to not come in, and the sellers took over and the market broke, okay? Now, unfortunately, over here, we didn't really get a clean entry. I do know a lot of people who do like to trade with pending orders. So if you had a sell stop over there, the market would have done a nice little job for you to break past and enter into your trade. Now, personally, like I said, I would not have taken this trade. 30-minute time frame, there was no confirmation. 15-minute time frame, there was no confirmation for a break. So like I said, guys, there's no real reason for me to enter this trade, but we are looking for potential setups coming for the future. Okay, now obviously we have, if we have a look at this 4 hourly turn time frame, we have a nice zone where this market can come reject on. Okay, I've got it roughly around here, the 1.04, I would say maybe 1.0500 mark zone. Okay, 5,000 mark zone. Nice psychological level where this market could reject and come back up, giving a break and retest to push further to the downside. Okay, we can see now again already how the market is structured. Obviously, looking at the longer term, 4-hourly term time frame, clear downtrend. Okay, we've got lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so the market is coming to the downside. The trend is your friend. Okay, so if we do get a retest that will be nice. We can also see, looking at this, the strength to the downside and the single move and the struggle to the upside. Okay, so this shows that the buyers are not really, they're not really being able to take control of the market, and the sellers are still trying to push this market down. Okay, another pair, GBPJPY will be another pair I want to look at. So GBPJPY again has reached some crucial levels. This is a daily term time frame, but we can see this is a zone we've been keeping out an eye on for a fairly long time as well. Beautiful support / resistance area. We're sitting right now on the support 157.800 mark zone, nice psychological level. This bottom support we have over here is roughly 151.600 as well, guys. So nice little consolidation zone. We're currently sitting on top of it. We tried to break through. If we have a look here on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see we tried to dip through it, try to reach into the liquidity, and unfortunately the market has failed. Pushed back up again. We can see these couple of wicks to the downside. The market is really rejecting the zone. We're seeing nice strong legs to the upside. The market struggles to the downside, strong push to the upside. Okay, so if this market can stay above this current price and we can get some nice candlestick close confirmations, we could look for potential higher term time frame moves back to the upside. Targets that I will be potentially looking at here is that zone right over there. I've got it 163.263. Okay, that's sort of the zone I have. Obviously, you guys can play around with that zone a bit. If you want to play it a bit more safe, we can look a little bit closer, looking at the opens and closes of these candles on the 30th of March. We can look here at, I can see here, 162.150. Nice psychological level, could be a good place to go to. And that's also, if we have a look at this over here, a consolidation zone, big consolidation zone. So that could be a good target. If the market can stay above, we can see something pushing up to that price. However, guys, again, we are looking at smaller support / resistances that might not be as significant as this overall support, but they could still play a factor in this market. Okay, if the price does come to reject this and pushes back down to this consolidation zone, obviously this is a daily zone, so easily we can drop down to our hourly. If we have a zoom out, just a little bit more of a zoom out as well, you guys can see this. Let's see if we can bring this down over here. You guys can see it's a fairly big zone on this hourly term time frame that we can be trading on. Let's have a quick look at what it looked like previously. So let's pull this chart back, have a look at this hourly time zone to see what this market's given us. So you guys can see if we do drop back into the zone, it is very clean traffic inside the lower term time frames. So we could look for nice trades between these two areas. Point A and point B could give us some really nice trades inside. Okay, last pair I want to look at, guys, this is going to be gold. Is the last pair I want to look at. Gold, we've been following for some while. This is the weekly term time frame. Now, if you guys do remember, I'll jump it over to the daily. We were looking at this entire structure, talking about it, discussing possibilities in the structure over here, and obviously all-time highs 2074, guys. We've got it here on our charts. We're speaking about how the market tried to reach it. We talked about, this whole entire process of this consolidation zone, options, rejections, breaks back down to the low side, looking at these internal support / resistance areas. Previous support, if we jump it over here to the weekly, we can see some very strong support with targets if this consolidation zone were to break. We spoke about this in our previous video, guys. So make sure to pay some good attention, because we do have some fairly good ideas here. Now, we've broken back past below that zone 1833 is what we've got here, is that strong support zone we were looking at, and we're back into some pretty nasty consolidation areas. Okay, so personally, guys, I'm not really a big fan of looking for trade. However, this is the daily time frame, but I'm still not really a big fan of the zone, because we have lots of messy traffic. The market is really struggling inside here. There's no clean movement inside here. We do have every now and then, guys, we have some clean movement, but again, as traders, we want to try and put the odds in our favor for clean, easy trades. Okay, so we can, if you really want to, you can try and force trades from point A to point B, but again, if you have to force something, it's not really a great idea. If it follows your rules, by all means, but personally for me, I'm looking for moves back above this 1833 mark to look to potentially try and push all-time highs, or other options would be to come below the support zone that we see over here. Nice support. I'll get a ray out here so we can see it a bit more accurately. The support zone I've got here is 70.52.86 is sort of exactly where I've got my line. Obviously, again, you guys can play around with it a bit more depending on where you're comfortable with it. But this is kind of the major consolidation zone that I'll be waiting for the price to break below if I'm looking for sales. Now, I'm not going to, like I said, I don't really want to be trading in here. Bit of a messy area. I mean, we've got so many support/resistance zones in here that the market, you know, can get stuck on and might not reach its full trade potential. So again, like I said, breaks below would be fairly ideal, or if we can get above, that'd be quite nice as well. Keep in mind, we have 1900. Again, we've got that the market structure trying to push to that. There's some resistance coming up. But if the market does decide to go back up again, obviously, usually the target will be trying to get back to those all-time highs. So I'll be a bit more patient if the market does decide to pop further higher. Guys, that is it for this Monday market update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If there are any pairs you want us to analyze, to look at, or any market structures, or if there's anything we missed in the charts, let us know down below in the comment section. We'll be happy to get to those and learn more from you guys as well. Like I said, if you did like this video, guys, make sure to smash that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning more about Forex and improving your current trading skills. Guys, from us here at BlackBull Markets, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the week of trading, and as always, stay tuned, trade safe.